Same as last
episode
week.
181 of the platformers.
The timing on that was perfect.
We'll never get it. We'll never get it.
Impeccable. Impeccable.
It's episode 181 of the platformers, a show about games and nerd culture. I'm your host, Brian Barnett.
I'm Joshua Mobley.
I'm Chris Shriver. And I have a
His
cold.
stuffed nose. His stuffed nose
I have
over
a
there.
stuffy nose. If you see me mute, it's because of my
Bless
stuffy
us
nose.
all, everyone.
Amen.
And this week we're going to be talking about E3. We're going to be making some predictions. We're going to be talking about some other stuff. But first, we're actually going to start this week with something I thought was very, very cool. Chris, why don't you go ahead and intro this whole thing for us?
Mr. Harry, whose last name I do not know how to pronounce, but I interact with him on social media on the reg, is in chat right now and submitted a question for us yesterday. You can find him on social media at illgrillchill. His question for us was, someone hypothetically got their first decent PC ever and has never played any PC-only games. What are some of the non-negotiable games that they should play?
So,
Portal.
Let me. That's available on other platforms, man.
Portal. That's my answer.
I do have an honorable mention section in my list for games that I think are probably best on PC, even if they are available elsewhere. But I'm going to start the bidding with possibly the greatest game of all time, Baldur's Gate 2: Shadows of Amn, which is also tied for first place for my favorite game of all time. That is PC only. And
didn't the Baldur's Gate 1 remake or remaster come out on console? Didn't it come out on like Switch?
I really hope that it did not.
They did. They
Actually,
ported.
damn it.
Yeah, they
Damn it.
ported
Yeah,
them.
they did. I mean, the Divinity games came to console.
That's true. That's
So
true.
CRPGs are no longer the realm of PC stuff. I don't think they did too though. So I think you're safe.
I mean, really, like
Hold on, let me actually look that up, because if I fucked it up this early,
that's fine.
I think you're fine.
The bubble of like PC exclusives has actually gotten, and I'm probably very wrong about
damn
this,
it, it's on
but,
Switch.
Like, there are tons of like, you know, Steam Workshop style games, indie games that are PC only that like we probably don't even know about. But it's the
you can look at Itch and stuff like that.
Yeah, Itch would be a good place to look at it for anything that is like completely exclusive.
A lot of
like,
very
like
unique.
But there are
Spirit Swap is going to be there. The demo is already there on Itch, and that is basically a revamped version of Tetris Attack. So it's really, really good, and I highly recommend it. It was Kickstarter success, so it's definitely coming out, and it's at the very least going to be on Itch. I don't know if it's going to be on anything else.
Yeah. Now you want to take a walk on the wild side, right? You want to join my neck of the woods of PC gaming of the year 2021.
So help me
of our
God,
Lord.
if you say Banjo-Kazooie.
No.
just VR.
Just VR in general, man. There's a ton of, granted, like if you get a Quest, a lot of these games now, if they've been made for PC originally, they have started to make their way to the Quest platform, you know, as just like a standalone kind of thing.
But I guess that's another
That's a whole other conversation.
piece of hardware in addition to PC, but
It
that
is,
just
it
enables
is.
you to do it mostly.
Yeah.
That was one thing I was thinking about. I was wondering if you were gonna say Half-Life Alyx.
Half-Life Alyx, absolutely. But like in that same vein, like this year I've become, and I tweeted about it yesterday, I've become such a Valve whore. Like I keep playing their games, and I'm like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah.
Like, as if
Surprise,
I had no
surprise.
idea. Like I played the Orange Box on 360. You know, that's where I first did Portal and
But
Half-Life 2.
you still can't. Yeah, you
That's-
still
that's
can't
same.
play Half-Life 1 on consoles, right?
No, you can on PS2 and Dreamcast, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's like 4 copies of it on Dreamcast.
Yeah, 4
okay.
total.
Yeah.
So, but by that token, Black Mesa is a PC exclusive.
Yeah, so that was what I was going to say is
Yeah.
Black Mesa. I've been playing that. If you You can download Reshade if you have like an RTX card or a high end 2000 series card. You can get ray tracing going on it. That game, the sound that like certain weapons make in that game, and like the weight of the weapons in that game, there's nothing else like it. Like, I feel like I've become so like numb to so many first person shooters of the last probably 10 years. And there's something about Black Mesa where like if somebody throws a grenade, I'm fucking terrified of it, because like I know it is going to hurt me exponentially more than any other weapon in the game. There's nothing else like it. I'm still making my way through it now. I think I'm like 7 hours in. I was playing this weekend. God, like if you have a PC game or a PC that like is capable, and Black Mesa is not even that like
it's not that demanding,
resource heavy. Yeah, I mean it's just an up-res mod of the original Half-Life. By all means, definitely play that if you're into FPS games, because that game rules.
Yeah, I think a really safe bet, and like you were talking about Valve, and for a long time Valve was a very kind of PC focused developer / publisher. There are a lot of Valve games that you can only play on PC, like Dota 2. I wouldn't go to bat for that, but like there are PC exclusive games in there.
I mean, I would have like 6 years ago, but I haven't played it in so long because it is a very demanding game.
Yeah,
it's one of those. If you get into it, this is the only thing you're going to play, because it's just so all encompassing.
It's so dense. Yeah.
It's the only game that Gabe Newell plays. Fun fact.
Is it really?
Yeah. He's like, why would I play anything else? It's the perfect game. It's this like, ever-changing, ever-evolving thing.
Back when I played Dota, I legit met people in the industry who would be like, yeah, this is a game you could literally play for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Because it's so deep, and there's just so much in it, and it has a thriving player base and stuff. It's just like, yeah, you could play it forever. So you can give it a go, but be warned, it is dense.
Yeah.
So it is not for everyone.
And Dota sprung from one of the games I'm going to recommend, which is Warcraft 3, which is an exceptional game. And by extension, I was going to say, like, what I was going to say based off of what I was saying on Valve is there is another developer that is still largely PC exclusive, and that's Blizzard.
Yeah. Well, mostly.
Yeah.
Diablo 3, like they put
Yeah.
Diablo games everywhere. They put Overwatch everywhere. But if you want to play StarCraft or you want to play World of Warcraft, you got to be on PC.
But honestly, like
those are two excellent games.
A lot of their titles, like Hearthstone especially, like, or being one of them, like a lot of those games play better, or the best place to play them, I think, is on PC. You know, Diablo.
Hearthstone's fine on your phone, but it's not the same.
It moves a lot more quickly on PC, I think.
Yeah. I'd argue that Diablo is better on console, but that's probably the only one.
You and I are gonna hard disagree about that.
That's a purely preferential thing at that point.
I don't mind it on console, but I feel like I'm playing with my hand tied behind my back when I play on console.
Real quick, Josh, can you do me a favor? Can you just turn off your video and turn it back on? Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, you look like you were in a witness protection program. Too. Yeah, I mean,
I will. A little fuzzy too.
I will.
I don't know.
You definitely both look like that for me. You both look like fuzzy boys.
Interesting.
All right.
Anyway,
fuzzy boys. I was gonna piggyback off Brian really quick and say, like, a lot of the old RTS games and MOBAs and stuff that just kind of don't really exist on other platforms. Yeah, like there's so many that you can play. And then I have one last...
Although I think most of those are going to console.
God damn it, Brian.
Sorry.
It's literally the next thing that was about to come out of my mouth was play Civ 6. Because it's like the best kind of intro to that style of game. Because it's not super overbearing. No one who's playing it knows what they're doing, to be frank. Like, you can just kind of jump in and play it. And it's just neat. That's good music. Sean Bean talks to you. It's a great game.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't love that?
He's got that good voice.
Yeah.
I wish it had asymmetric multiplayer, or not asymmetric.
Awesome. Like you were playing like long distance chess.
Asynchronous is what I meant to say. Yes, exactly. I wish it had asynchronous play, but it doesn't. unfortunately. But it's a great game.
As a broad stroke.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Josh.
I was gonna say I think Civ 6 did come to other platforms, but like do not play it there.
Yeah.
Like absolutely not. They don't run well. Just play it on PC. Plus you get mods.
Yeah. As a broad stroke, I would just say like try your favorite first person shooter. I think that
Yeah,
Doom
I was actually.
PC.
the Doom games run really well. I've never been a fan of Wolfenstein. People seem to really like Wolfenstein. Josh and I were obviously very into Destiny on PC. Like as much as many problems as we have with Destiny, the state of Destiny right now, that game runs really, really well.
Does run really well.
And one thing I will say about that is that was way more true before the Series X and PS5 came out, because most of these games were locked 30 on console and they were either unlocked or locked 60 on PC. And going from 30 to 60 is a huge difference. Now that's not as much of a problem because most things on the current gen of consoles can get to 60 frames, so they still feel really smooth there. Like I would have said the Souls games are best on PC, but now everything except Bloodborne you can play at 60 frames on PS5.
Yeah,
so it's kind of it's really similar. But if you don't have one of those, if you built a PC instead of buying one of those consoles, then like you might be in a situation where a lot of those games would still be better.
Yeah.
I would say find your favorite games that you've played before and find them on PC because a lot of them have mods that make them even better.
Yeah.
And like also they just feel completely different in a lot of instances.
Yeah, and like once you learn first person shooters, especially for me, like there are very few that I can even play on console anymore. I have to play most of them on PC now. Because I think it just
is that mouse keyboard support.
Yeah, it feels so much better to me now. Which like I never in a million years, you asked me 4 or 5 years ago, I never would have said that. And now it's like I pick up a controller and I don't know what I'm doing. It's really funny to watch.
Depends.
That's really interesting. And I would definitely say that's true of certain games. Like I actually found Doom 2016 to be really difficult to play on Xbox, and then I played it on PC with mouse and keyboard, and it like really started to sing for me.
Yeah.
But by that same token, actually, now that you brought up mods, I would say there are some mods that make like some of my favorite games even better. Like the Cinders mod for Dark Souls 3 on PC is unreal. Like it basically makes magic a totally different thing, adds a bunch of spells to the game that were in older games, adds items from Bloodborne and Sekiro and other items in the series, like really expands on what was possible, and lets you like resummon bosses as many times as you want. Like you can pay like 15,000 souls and buy an item that lets you bring a boss back to life so you can fight it again without having to go to New Game Plus. It's really, really cool. It adds like NPC summon helpers that you can just carry around with you. Like it really changes that. So that's another thing that you can do to really get a lot of life out of games that you've already really played.
It even gets crazier with total conversion mods, like Skyrim mods, where they're like, we made an entire game just in the engine.
Yeah. There's a few Portal ones like that as well.
Yeah.
Or even just some in-engine stuff, like where you get added functionality with these games. Like one of the ones that I was thinking about mentioning that's best on PC, I think, is the Dragon Age series, because when you play them on PC, you can actually zoom out and play them like the Baldur's Gate games top down, which is they're meant to be spiritual successors to Baldur's Gate because they're made by like parts of the same team that made the Baldur's Gate games. But the games were only played from third person, like over the shoulder perspective on console, which is a totally different feeling.
Yeah.
So I was also going to say like some in another blunder like Baldur's Gate 2, I was going to say like if you wanted to go older with shooters and get really twitchy, you could play like Unreal Tournament and Quake 3, but both of those actually came to other consoles later.
They did, but
so there's not there. Honestly, there used to be way more, but since it's best for developers to put their games everywhere to make as much of a profit off of their games as they possibly can, there's not nearly as much that's truly exclusive as there
It's
used
just
to be.
that it's a different ecosystem and it's a lot more open.
Yeah.
So you just have a lot more freedom. So
Yeah.
I mean, I would just say explore around.
And emulators,
And-
like don't not consider looking, like if there's some console that you wish you still owned, and like the Dolphin emulator for GameCube and Wii games, it's unbelievable how good you can get some of those games still. I was watching footage yesterday for Beautiful Joe in 4K, and it's like the fact that that emulator can even do that is just awesome.
Oh, actually, you know what? Nox. Go play Nox. The game rules.
I don't know what that is.
That's
Brian, I think
old-
you're the only person I know who knows what that is because I've brought that game up before too, and they're like, "What is this?"
Dude, this game
Yeah, I
rules.
forgot.
So
Oh.
it's
I have another
it's
one. Go ahead.
available on along the lines of what Chris was saying about like old like emulators and stuff. You can also go to certain storefronts like GOG and find old games that were available on like PS2 or the original Xbox. Like before it was available on backwards compatibility on Xbox, you could get Republic Commando. You could get all these old like KOTOR 1
I mean,
and
that
2.
was on PC also.
You could get.
So you're
Well, that's
getting
what
the
I'm saying.
PC
Like
version.
you could get all of these on. Oh, I actually didn't know that. You could get like all these older games, like Nox, which came out in like 98, 99, something like that. Like it was an old Westwood top-down action RPG. Super, super good. But yeah, you can just poke around the GOG storefront. They have tons of old retro games like Vampire the Masquerade or like different things like this. There's a huge world of PC games that are open to you now. It's really cool.
Josh is holding up a very
My
blurry
PC
box.
copy of Republic Commando.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Go. Shrink wrap.
Loop
why
Hero.
not? Loop Hero. That's new. That's like brand new game.
Yeah.
Isn't that
That's
on Switch?
only.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
No.
I thought it was.
I
I
don't know. I think it's only on
thought it was PC only.
Let me check.
PC.
The PC.
The base. Steam, Epic Games, GOG, Humble. Yeah, Loop Hero.
Yeah, it's only on PC.
There you go.
That game rips.
It is very good.
I've been saying the past like week. I've been saying like about something that is good. Hey man, that rips ass. And somebody was like, "Is that good?"
I don't know. That's a good thing. Some of them rips ass.
What was it? Oh man, years ago when I was playing with my old guitarist Miguel, he would like come up with a really awesome lick on the guitar, and I'd be like, "Man, that's a bitch ass lick," and he's like, "Is that good? Is that really good? I don't know that you saying that
It's like,
something
I don't
is
know how to-
bitch ass
I don't know how to feel
is
about
good." He's like, "Is that he thought it was an insult at first." Where do you weigh in on this, Chris? Do you think if I say something is bitch ass, that means it's good or it's
I think
bad?
it. No, I think it means it's a
bad.
bitch ass.
that. That means it's bad.
Yeah, it means it's
And,
bad.
yeah, from what I.
Oh,
Yeah.
so what is it? Bitch ass and rips ass. That rips ass.
Rips ass. I feel like I would say, okay, I think he means that's good. But the other one, no. I've heard.
Yeah,
you know,
bitch
it's
ass is
mostly
not.
an
I know
insult.
is not a good thing.
Mostly an insult. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
a bitch ass game. I love it.
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Well, there you go. This
Doesn't work.
This has been Brian's misused phrase corner.
Well done.
Any other PC stuff that we didn't hit on?
That
I feel like
I feel
there's
like
a lot of good stuff.
think
Basically,
so.
all the Blizzard stuff.
Go exploring. There are like so many just great things out there that you will never see on console.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
you know
say.
what's funny? Like between like truly expansive MOBAs and also like the best RTSs, like basically every RTS that isn't like Halo Wars, like being able to play StarCraft 1 and 2, like there are straight up genres that don't exist for all practical
Kinda.
purposes on console. So yeah, definitely get into that. So yeah, enjoy. Welcome to the PC ecosystem. It's
Explore.
great to have you.
Especially go into the indie stuff because like so much of it
Yes.
literally doesn't exist on anywhere else.
Yeah.
Definitely download Itch. There's a lot of good stuff on there. Some of that stuff has made its way to like PS4 or the Switch now, but there is still a mountain of stuff that you can get into. And we had Janet Garcia on the podcast previously, and she has gone out there and been like, hey, here's a lot of games in, the bundle for, the Black Lives Matter bundle, or like all these different things. Like there are tons of great games that you've never heard of that are just waiting out there to be discovered. So enjoy, explore, and let us know if you find any winners. Ping us on Twitter like you did this time.
Yeah, buddy.
And thanks so much for suggesting the topic. It was a lot of fun to poke around and think about all these great PC games that we've enjoyed over the years. So with that fan-submitted topic out of the way, let's get to the meat and potatoes of the show, which is E3 is coming up. It's right around the corner. It's kicking open our doors, laying siege to our homes, and saying you don't get to have any sleep. All you need to think about is all these games.
My God.
And so we wanted to get together, as we have in ages past, and make our predictions and also share some of our fondest wishes for what we will see in this coming E3.
I need to preface this by saying 3 of mine have already happened. I wrote these yesterday. So for anybody listening to this later,
we'll still count those. We're all honor system.
Yeah. So it is June 7th. It is 8:33 p.m. on the East Coast. And I just want to get these out of the way real quick before we dive into conference by conference. So I had a prediction that the Prince of Persia remake is not shown, and it is pushed to 2022. And that literally happened today.
Yeah.
They released a press statement about it. I said that Splinter Cell will return in some fashion. I didn't know what. I didn't expect it to be a new game. This game from Ubisoft leaked called, it's like Project Big Cat or something, or Battle Cat. And it's basically like this combination of like Rainbow Six plus Ghost Recon plus Splinter Cell. And it's like class-based multiplayer battle arena situation, apparently, that's going to get announced. That may or may not be right. As much as I want it to be a standalone Splinter Cell game, apparently it's not going to be. The third one was, I don't know anything about Borderlands. I don't know anything about Gearbox, but I was on their website and I was like, I feel like the only thing they can do is make a Borderlands spin-off game, because they don't want to muddy up like the Borderlands franchise while they're in the middle of making a movie. And lo and behold, there was a leak today that Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is getting announced at some point during.
Is that a
probably
DLC or a spin-off, though?
I think it's a spin-off game.
It's a leak, so I won't necessarily say that that's confirmed.
Yeah. It'll be funny if it happens,
unless
though.
It's really damning. But I actually didn't. I actually did not know that happened. So this is news to me.
I didn't know that happened either.
Yeah.
I've been very
running
head
around
down on Guilty Gear and different stuff like that. So
I just like every now and then I'll open up Twitter and I'm just like, son of a bitch. Like, there's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't that what you wanted?
Yeah.
I don't care about any of these. It's just I was just predicting what I think would happen. You know, like I don't play Borderlands games, but I was just like, Gearbox doesn't do anything else. Like, of course they're gonna make another Borderlands.
I'll wait till we get to my Gearbox predictions.
I have a Gearbox prediction.
Brothers in Arms returns.
I wonder if Brian's and I are the same, but I don't know.
They probably
I tried
are not.
really hard. I tried really hard not to look at anybody's.
I didn't look at anyone's. So we keep a single document of show notes, and each person has their own section. I have not looked at anybody else's.
Oh, I kept mine in my Google Notes. I didn't put.
Oh, you didn't share
them?
them?
No,
I put mine in the show notes this morning, but I tried really hard to, like, whenever I would go past like Brian or yours, I like tried to make my eyes like not focus, so it would just
yeah. I definitely
anything.
was tracking with you, Josh. I did the same thing.
All right, so then Brian, why don't you Sherpa us through each of the conferences, and then we'll go from there.
The first conference. So did you when you sent these to us earlier? Were these in order of their?
In order of when they're happening?
Their broadcasting.
I genuinely don't know.
Okay, well that's fine. We'll just go through it in the order that you sent them.
Yeah. That's fine.
So starting with Ubisoft, So I'm going to go through for each one of these. I have one prediction and one wish. So then we'll just go through that. So
Yep.
for
I just have
Ubisoft,
straight predictions, but
so for
Some of them are
Ubisoft,
wishes.
my prediction is there's going to be an Assassin's Creed announcement.
I think I have that. I think I have that as well.
I know it's
Need to open
well,
mine.
I still think it's pretty soon after Valhalla to do it, but I think they're
It
going to do
is.
it anyway.
I wrote-
Especially because
I wrote-
they had come back off of the yearly iterations.
Oh, is it
according to them.
non-annualized still?
No, it's not.
Oh, well, I don't know, but
It's,
see, you know what's funny is it's been just COVID brain and all that. I literally couldn't remember when Valhalla even came out.
Oh wow,
it launched with the
the new consoles.
yeah.
Okay, because
let me
I wrote new Assassin's Creed game announced coming this year. That's one of the things but maybe it's not. Maybe I'll get it half right.
Okay, so here we go.
The only reason I think that isn't happening is it
May
hasn't-
2018 for Odyssey. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, October 2018 for Odyssey. When did this come out? Valhalla. April.
Yeah,
No,
2020.
it was announced in April 2020.
Yeah, it came
When
out
did
in
it come
November.
out though?
November.
Yeah, so 2 years. So 2 years apart. So
Yeah.
I think we'll get an announcement this year, and it'll come out next year.
Where would you like to go?
I think if we get an announcement, it'll be the end of this year. I don't think it'll be at E3. Yeah, where would you like to go, Brian?
Not that I want to play another one of these like Witcher type games, but
I was thinking, my mind was thinking, oh, the one that everybody wants in Japan, but but something else inside me says South America.
That'd be
Says
cool.
Interesting.
I'd be into that.
I think that would be interesting.
Yeah,
that could be
especially
cool.
because we got Ghost
I don't know
of
where that
Tsushima,
came
which
from
is-
in me, but it was just like,
basically-
you know what, South America, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
think
Ghost of Tsushima is basically Japanese Assassin's Creed.
yeah,
It's
and
always
at this point they've kind of left Japan alone, and I think they now know they like can't really go there because
Yeah,
Ghost
At
like
this point,
did it their own
yeah.
way. Harry in the chat actually said the same thing I was going to. It's not going to get announced this year at E3 because it hasn't been leaked yet.
That's true.
That is an excellent point.
But
But
what if it gets leaked in the next day?
I mean, if
That's
it does, it'll be tomorrow or
it
Wednesday.
could get
yeah,
leaked
but
before this show is over.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
But
Never
yeah,
know.
but that is just one thing. That is just my one prediction. So do we want to do all of our predictions first and then wishes, or do we want to do each person by each person?
do
So I'll give my
prediction and wish per conference per person.
So
and then we'll-
my wish is a revival / sequel to Prince of Persia, apart from the remakes. Like they're doing the remakes. I want a new Prince of Persia game.
I feel like that's not going to happen.
It's not. This is my wish. This
Sure,
is what I
sure,
want.
sure.
If the remake does
It's-
well, I think you'll get another one.
Yes. Like, but I want everybody who's listened to the show for a long time knows that I love Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
And seeing those kind of abandoned assets and gameplay from that game that could have been made me really think more than I could have. But like, there's a part of me that realizes that like a lot of this is colored by nostalgia and a lot of the fact that like, oh, I love Prince of Persia because it came out in the PS2 era and I had like Prince of Persia, Final Fantasy X, and like that was basically it. Like I didn't have a whole lot.
Yeah.
But that was one of the franchises that I really fell in love with, and I kind of carried that with me through the Prince of Persia trilogy and then into the cel shaded version of it, which if it had had good combat would have been like the pinnacle of the series.
That's the one that I like the most.
I think
played it so
the
much.
story in it is the best. I think that the animation in it is the best. I think the traversal in it is the best. I kind of feel about it like I feel about Horizon Zero Dawn, which is if only the combat was good, it would be perfect.
I have more issues with Horizon than just the combat, but I do like the world a lot. I think the world is super cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just something, because like they didn't completely abandon the series even after the cell shaded version, because they came out with the Forgotten Sands for 360.
Yeah.
But like can you imagine what a Prince of Persia would look like on like PS5 and Series X? Like a new one, not just a revamped old one. Like, man, it could be really something special.
I think the problem with Ubisoft in general is that they've seen how well a game like Rainbow Six can do.
Yeah.
And like their single player, I feel like they're, as far as they're willing to go with single player, is like playing it safe in Far Cry and Assassin's Creed. Like, they're not the studio that's going to be like, we're going to take a chance and make this single player game that might not hit. Yeah.
Yeah, not these days.
That big of a chance though. Like, those were all fairly well received. Although I think Forgotten Sands got like a 70 something. So maybe it's not that safe a bet. And who knows how many people bought it. I don't know the sales numbers. That's just what I want.
Sure.
Because that's the Ubisoft that's the Ubisoft property that they have that actually means something to me.
Yeah. That's me
in a way that like I always wished that Assassin's Creed spoke to me in that way, but it never did.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's my Ubisoft stuff. What about you boys?
I didn't do the right format, but I did the same thing. I did the same thing you did, which was like a new Assassin's Creed game gets announced. But I had another prediction, which is that we won't hear about the Division at all, literally at all, and not because it's doing bad or whatever, or that they don't have content planned, because they do, but just
because the messaging,
it's the way the world is these days, right? And it's just. Seems like a thing you shouldn't do, right? Seems like a thing you should just kind of like, this is
you should probably not bring up the fact that you made a game about like government agents / cops killing
about
people.
the last year of our lives. Yeah. Like probably
in the midst of a pandemic.
Well, especially wasn't the first one about a virus outbreak?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's still there in the second one, but the second one's just like,
Yeah.
Also has some.
The second one is also even more about militarized police.
Yeah.
Man, well,
so
at least they have a Rainbow Six Outbreak, or whatever they renamed it. That was basically about another pandemic type style thing.
Yeah.
Womp.
Oh yeah, they changed the name for that, and they haven't talked about it in a long time.
I imagine we'll see it, and honestly, I think that game could be pretty good.
It could
just
be
based off the
cool.
premise, but I don't know. We'll see.
I'm with
Chris.
you. I was gonna say my wish.
Do you have another one? Okay.
My wish is I want free-to-play Assassin's Creed multiplayer to come back in some form. I need it in my life. I loved that multiplayer mode, and I miss it so much.
Here's the problem with that. I feel like all I'm doing is just poo-pooing on both your hopes and dreams. Is that Assassin's
they could do
Creed,
microtransactions in that.
Well, Assassin's Creed
and make a lot of money.
Multiplayer now is different from Assassin's Creed multiplayer when Brotherhood came out, because Assassin's Creed in and of itself is a completely different game. Like,
okay, well, I want the Brotherhood / Revelations, right?
Yeah.
Revelations multiplayer to come back. That's what I want. I want hide and seek with stabbing.
That's why
it's a wish. That's why it's a wish, Chris.
I know.
It's not this is going to happen.
A separate low impact kind of platform that they could
They
have.
could do it.
They should do it.
They should do it. I would love it.
Yeah.
Especially because they're never coming out with Skull and Bones.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen either.
No, I don't know if they show that this year. If they don't,
well, Chris, tell me, is it on your list?
Skull and
Bones?
Bones?
Your list of predictions?
No, it's not on my. I don't give two craps about that game.
Me neither, but
yeah,
some people do.
People do, and they have Sea of Thieves, and I'm happy for them.
Sea of Thieves is great, though.
It's not at all the same. So, Chris, what about your?
It's not at all the same.
Well, mine was the Prince of Persia remake being pushed, and then Splinter Cell returning.
Which it was, and which it is.
Yeah. So
there you go. 2 points for you already. So next is Gearbox. So my prediction is there will be some sort of Borderlands reveal, possibly Borderlands 4. My wish is that there would be some sort of Borderlands reveal, possibly Borderlands 4, because that's the only. I was gonna. So, I really had to keep myself from being exceptionally cynical and filled with bile while I was doing these predictions, because I was gonna make all my wishes the stuff that I want and make my predictions stuff that I actually think we'll get in a very cynical kind of gross way. Like I was gonna make a joke about Aliens Colonial Marines 2 here or something like that, but I fought against it and I was like, let's keep it above the waist. And so that's when I'm doing that, I think that the only thing that Gearbox has, like you were saying earlier, the only thing that they have that really speaks to people is Borderlands.
Yeah.
And so they have to. It's one of those things where like you see them try to diversify their portfolio and like nothing really hits the same.
Go on Gearbox's site right now.
Yeah.
Like, and just look at what they
I actually
put out.
did that earlier. The amount of games that they claim is crazy.
Well, a lot of them are ports. Like there's at the bottom section of the page, it's got like Halo, Tony Hawk 3. Like there's a bunch of Valve games that like they ported to console.
A lot of Vivendi stuff, yeah.
Yeah. But for the most part, yeah, like it's their bread and butter. It was Brothers in Arms, and now it's Borderlands, and that's pretty much what they're doing, which is fine. Like that's.
I would say it's fine. But before Borderlands 3 was not nearly as good as Borderlands 2.
That's what everyone says, yeah.
And yeah, it's
I remember Brian and I played that together, and we were both like,
I wrote the guide.
Is there any chance it got better? Like, did it get better? Or is
it could have gotten better.
Lukewarm?
There's just some core stuff about it that I wasn't a fan of.
The writing was not great. The voice acting was not great. Like the story went interesting places, but it was not. Borderlands 2 story was so good. Like Borderlands 1 story was like okay, but the gameplay was so interesting, and it was basically like what if shooter but Diablo, and they actually nailed it. With Borderlands 2, they had all that stuff, and then they amped that up to 11, and then the story was also really good. And then with Borderlands 3, the story isn't as forgettable as it is in 1. It's just not as good. It's like half to 3/4 of as good as the story from 2. It's just a kind of a letdown, especially when they did the pre-sequel, and that was like also not great.
Yeah. Not to go on a huge tangent, but like I just didn't like the way the game felt to play.
Which like is totally a thing. Like if you know, if you
and they force fed us the worst character from Tales of the Borderlands, which was a real obnoxious thing.
Well, shoot.
But anyway, that's what I got for Gearbox.
What do you got, Josh?
I literally have one thing for Gearbox, and it's that Randy will do magic for at least a third of the show.
That's probably true, actually.
Yeah. I was trying to think of anything that they could announce, and I was like, I don't know, but I know one thing for certain. We'll get a magic trick, probably. So
we're all going to get mind freaked by Randy Pitchford.
Yeah.
So my prediction was a Borderlands spinoff, which apparently is happening. We'll see. And then my wish was that I would love to see anything from the Borderlands movie. I'd love to see a trailer. I don't think we will, but
no, it's too early, right?
I am actually interested.
Yeah, but I think it would be cool, even just like screenshots of it, anything to go off of.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Drum up some hype for it.
Cool. And that was your wish?
That was my wish. Yeah.
Cool. So next is honestly the biggest one. Because this is the joint Xbox Bethesda show, which like narrowing this down to one prediction and one wish was like basically impossible.
I didn't.
I didn't. If you have
really?
If you have extras,
I'm at a huge disadvantage then because I definitely did.
Are we keeping score? I don't know.
No, I mean it's
so my prediction is we will finally see the revamped Halo Infinite gameplay.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also said Halo Infinite will get a large showing and a release date.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
And then my wish, which one of these is, I think, moderately likely, and one of them is not at all likely at all. So yeah, I guess I put my wish into two parts. One is Avowed gameplay. I want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is the announcement of Dishonored 3,
Oh my
which
god,
is not going to happen.
That's definitely not going to happen.
Which is not going to happen, but that's desperately what I want.
Yeah.
I really want it. Of the two wishes, I think that getting more info on Avowed and getting specifically a gameplay trailer is not completely out of the question, but also I don't think it's entirely a sure thing either.
Sure.
Because it was just a teaser, and we've seen how many of these games get teased and then we don't see anything for a considerable amount of time. And I haven't actually looked into this to see how long Obsidian has been working on Avowed since they launched. Because it was since they launched Pillars of Eternity 2, right? That was the last thing they did.
2 years ago, I think. Right?
Was that the last game
sounds
they came out
right.
with?
I think so.
It's either that or South Park.
No, they also did. They did.
Outer
Grounded.
Worlds.
God.
Right?
Yeah, Outer Worlds. They did. Did they do Grounded?
I think so.
What? If they did, I was not aware.
Tyranny, Outer Worlds, Grounded,
Wow.
Avowed.
I did not know that was them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so Outer Worlds was 2019, Grounded early access July 2020, and we don't know anything about Avowed pretty much.
I feel like Avowed is a toss-up where that game could come out this year or in 5 years.
I definitely don't think it's coming out this year. I would love it to come out this year, but I don't think that it can get to the point where they would want it to be this year.
Probably not. But it's
Just
just, I don't know why. It just seems like one of those games that or they seem like one of those studios that would do that.
They could. I think that the development cycle on Dungeon Siege 3 was like pretty quick.
Yeah. I don't know anything though. I have no idea.
And I think the quality kind of spoke to that. I didn't think that game was super great.
Considering this is the first time I've heard of it, you're probably
Dungeon
right.
Siege?
Dungeon Siege?
Yeah, I don't think I.
Really?
Obsidian is totally not.
I only played the first one.
Yeah, it's totally not.
They
my,
only did
bubble.
the third one. I think Microsoft actually did the first two.
Oh.
But man, I loved those first two games, Dungeon Siege.
Mm.
Hey, you know what? Going back to the PC exclusive things, first two Dungeon Siege games.
It's probably why I never played it.
There you go. I totally forgot about those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my prediction and wish for Xbox / Bethesda.
Jashy boy.
I did the Halo Infinite one as well. I also said we'll see Starfield, but it's not coming this year. I remember there was some
interesting
leak things that said, oh, it could be shown and also come out this year, and I think that's a little
bullish,
presumptuous. Yeah. I think we might actually see it finally, but I don't think it's actually going to come out.
I'm going to be bold. I don't think we're seeing Starfield this year. I think everybody is out of their gourds if they
think so, because
yes.
Even why am I Phil Spencer? It's why am I forgetting his name? He even said he played it recently and stuff. So I think that's why people are
we'll see
sort of. I think we might actually see it.
I don't think the game comes out this year, but
no way. I would be shocked.
But I think you do the same thing that they did with Halo Infinite, where you show it, you get fan reception and feedback just based off of gameplay alone. I think you do what you need to do from there.
I will be pleasantly surprised if we see Starfield.
Interesting.
Okay.
I am definitely in the same camp with that as I am Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5. We're not seeing this stuff for a while.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls 6 we're not seeing.
It's maybe
next year. I know we're getting
but...
Starfield before then, but my gut is we will maybe see something about Starfield late next year. Maybe I'm wrong,
Wow.
but
That seems
I
like
think
a
that
long
game is.
That's-
time.
I think that game is further away than people
I mean,
realize.
we'll find out, right?
Yeah, we'll find out.
I'll be very pleasantly surprised to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
but
I also
I definitely
wrote
feel like
down-
when they first revealed Starfield and like announced it, I felt like that was a desperation move. I don't think it was anywhere near ready to be announced.
That's
Well, probably
fair. I
not.
mean, that was at a time where Bethesda really was not in a good place in a lot of people's minds, post Fallout 76 and all that.
But maybe I'm wrong, and it was just the Elder Scrolls announcement that was premature.
Yeah.
We'll see.
What do you got?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Josh.
My third one was that we'll hear about a brand new IP from
I think
either
that's
just
a-
straight
that's a
Microsoft or
lock.
Bethesda.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a lot for sure.
And then my other one was that Game Pass will somehow get better. I don't know what that looks like.
That's
but I don't
probably
mean-
also a lock.
Just showing games to me isn't it getting better. I mean, like some new core feature that gets added on.
Interesting.
Whether it's like another kind of EA Play sort of thing that gets tacked in there, right?
Do either of you think that, and whether this would make Game Pass better in the same way that you're talking, do you think that we get some sort of official statement on the exclusivity of all these games finally?
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
but I still
There have
don't
been
think
kind of sly comments of like, well, you know, these games will probably be Game Pass exclusive, or they'll probably be Xbox PC exclusive, or something.
I don't think things like Fallout and Elder Scrolls will ever be exclusives.
really.
I don't think they can
Ever.
be. Yeah.
I don't think they can be. They're too big. I think
I think that's
I
why
think something like Starfield could, and any new IP they come out with could, but I think things like if they make another Doom, like there's no way, no, not a chance in hell. Not to like make it a pun, but still, like there's no way that's not an
If they do,
exclusive.
I almost want them to, because it will
I-
just
dude,
be
I'm in
it'll
that
be
same
interesting to
position.
watch the world burn over it.
Yep.
Like that's the only reason I
Yep.
want to see it. Like I don't
It
care
would
either
be
way.
interesting,
I'm
and
the
I
person.
wouldn't. Yeah,
I'm the person that
Yeah.
has all these consoles. Like I really don't give a shit
Yeah.
where they go.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like I could still play it.
Yeah,
but,
I can
you
still
know.
play it, but like it would be so funny to watch Twitter just like burn to the ground if they were like, Elder Scrolls 6 is an Xbox exclusive. So is the next Doom. So is
So
Fallout.
is the next Fallout.
Yeah, like it would be so
Because-
funny.
Yes, and I think that would be hilarious because it would make, as much as I like everything going everywhere, it does make the exclusives argument kind of obnoxious, because then it's just like, oh, well, there's 2 games over here that are good and 1 that's great, and 2 games over there that are good that's great. Like, whereas if you're weighing like the overall portfolio of all the Sony stuff versus all the Nintendo stuff versus all of the Xbox plus Bethesda stuff, it's a pretty interesting discussion.
Well, because right now it's not. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the, or at least all of last generation or most of last generation, it was the conversation of, Sony has their bangers, and then
Yeah.
there's these AAA games that come out on both, and Xbox has, their usual suspects of, Halo, Forza, Gears of War, all of that.
Forza, yeah.
Like I want, and
Which
that's
is
what
cool,
we've been
but
saying
yeah.
for forever, is like, I want Xbox. I want me to love Xbox again, and like I don't yet.
Yeah.
They're making the right moves, but like, give me the titles to do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm back just with all the stuff, and just that's the console. If I'm playing a console, that's the one I want to play
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now.
It's definitely
My
the better
wi-
console for sure.
I think so. My wish for Microsoft and Bethesda is that we see Fable, but
No way.
I don't think that's going to happen at all. Like I was
I would love
surprised
for
we
Fable
even
to win me
saw.
back, actually. Speaking of that
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
it's just been so long, and like the core, like it's just so ripe, like and ready for a reboot. I think, because the core of Fable is so great and so good, and it's just kind of been shoved to the wayside, right, for the last like decade or more. I just think like whatever they're doing, I'm sure
I mean,
it's
even
gonna
that
be.
one
I'm sure
game
it's gonna
got
be cool,
canceled. So like even the Fable that we were gonna get,
but
we
that
didn't end up
wasn't even
getting.
like like a Fable game. It was like a
Sure,
spin-off,
sure, but
right?
it was like it was something for Fable fans, which like I'm not one, but like
Wasn't
I
that a Connect
sympathize.
game?
No, there was a
Uh,
Connect game. There was Fable Journeys. That's a Connect game.
Did that come out?
That came out, yeah.
It did come out.
Oh wow, I
The
didn't know that.
the 4v1 Fable game that I can't remember did not come out. It got
Okay.
canceled. But we know we have a Fable reboot coming. I would love to see it, but I have, even though I feel like it's been in development for years at this point, but I just don't have any faith that we're going to see it until we actually see it.
No, I think
I think that'd be
that
great.
comes.
So that's my wish, is that I
Sure.
just see it.
Yeah. I think it comes.
I don't have
late
any
in
illusions.
The lifespan of a.
Yeah, I
Series
don't have
X.
any illusions that it's coming out anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, boys, strap up your nut sacks because I'm gonna take you on Mr. Magoo's wild ride with Phil Spencer and the xCloud.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Talk to me, bud.
All right. Phil
I'm strapped
Spencer
in.
pulls out from his undercarriage a Nintendo
Whoa.
Switch Pro. That's right.
Oh,
We've seen it, and it's in his hands.
and it was in his pants.
And it was in
before that.
his pants before
Is this
that.
your wish, or
This is my prediction. It's not, it may not be a Switch Pro, but it's a Nintendo Switch. He busts it
Okay,
out.
well, if it doesn't happen exactly like you described, then you don't get any points.
It's running Halo Infinite via xCloud, and he says,
Okay.
"Hey bitches," and then they go, "Hey what?" That's a local Philly radio thing. Only no
That's
one gets
definitely
that
not happening then.
anyway. And then he goes, "Well, Game Pass is coming to the Nintendo Switch via xCloud, and Halo Infinite will be available on the Nintendo Switch day one for you to
Nope.
stream and play."
That's
Dude, that
never
would be-
happening.
I think
Such a baller move.
I think they
Not
are
happening.
that confident in their ecosystem that they will do it. What they are not confident in is that the base level Switch hardware is capable of doing it, and I guarantee you, because everyone has a problem with the Wi-Fi chip in the Nintendo Switch. This is not a secret. They
Yeah.
will improve that in the next model, and I would bet my balls that xCloud is making it to the Switch at some point.
I seriously doubt it, but I'll let you live with that dream.
What-
I will.
what do
I
they
will
have-
Come
think
claim
about
your
it.
balls if you are wrong.
What do they have to lose? What do
I mean,
either of
it's
those
a
companies have to
question of
lose?
What they have to lose. It's a question.
They
of,
actually,
I mean,
they actually
if it
don't have
doesn't
anything to
actually
lose.
work, if it doesn't actually work well, then a lot, right?
But if it can run on a phone, like my Pixel can run xCloud with a Bluetooth controller.
I still don't think it. Yeah, but you are like a techie, right? Like I still think that this streaming thing is not ready. Like
He prefers
it
Star Wars, actually.
for. I don't think it's ready for anything. Like it's ready for like maybe a couple of us. It's not consumer level, just random person ready, in my opinion, because like people who are not super into the ecosystem or not super into just games and tech and stuff, they're not going to know how any of this works. They need to literally be able to push a button and have the thing work. And like even Stadia on my good internet, and I live by Google, didn't work good. So it's not ready. It's not
Go
ready.
ahead, Brian,
Like,
and then I will rebut.
I will say this. If they do that, that will be one more way that the Switch capitalized on the promise of the Vita, because those 3G Vitas that were like you can remote play on your 3G Vita from anywhere, if they could actually make that happen on
Man.
Switch,
3G.
They're not gonna put 5G in a Switch Pro. That's not gonna happen.
no, but if they could,
The rebuttal that I will make to you, Joshua Mobley, is that you have somebody who like they're playing Halo Infinite. It's their gateway drug into the Xbox ecosystem. The game's already free to play. Like it's just enough for them to be like, I'm having fun, but this experience could be better. Maybe I should just go get an Xbox.
life is good.
But it could
Mhm.
be
It
Could
better.
be better.
Yeah, exactly. I genuinely believe that conversation has to have happened at some point. And I would love for it to occur because we haven't had the mic drop moment that Sony had last generation of, oh, you want to share your games? Here's how you can do it. And then they hand off the game to the other player. That hasn't happened this generation maybe with the exception being Game Pass in general. But man, I would love to see it. I think it would be such an awesome thing.
I would, but this is all just like We just want to see Microsoft get theirs.
We do.
Now, we say that as like they're literally worth more than both other companies combined.
Yeah.
Uh,
They make my
But-
life a living hell at work every day.
but Xbox as a brand is doing everything right, and like we were talking about earlier, of like the reason why people love games is because the rewards are fair. We want to see Microsoft get their glow up because they're doing everything right. Like
Right.
we want to see Microsoft be rewarded for the consumer focused initiatives that they're implementing and different things like that.
Exactly.
I think it's a cool prediction, and I hope that happens. That would be baller, and I hope that he does literally pull a Switch Pro out of his underwear on the show floor, on the stage.
He was like, we were hoping Nintendo would show it off, but too bad. Here's ours.
Too bad. Here it is.
I have another prediction before my wish, and this is just for you, Brian. Cuphead: The Delicious Last Course gets its release date. It is in September. It is in late September, around your birthday.
I'll take it.
Yep. My wish.
What's that wish, baby? You knew it. You knew it was coming.
I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense for them to
get jiggy with it, as it
to
were.
get jiggy with it. I love that. To do a Banjo-Kazooie 1 and 2 remake similar to the Crash Bandicoot remakes and the Spyro remakes that Toys for Bob did.
It makes too much sense.
It makes too much sense for them to not do it, and their marketing, they're creating too much product around Banjo-Kazooie right now for them to not do it. Like, it would be weird at this point for them to not create some type of Banjo-Kazooie game. He's in Smash, or they're in Smash, and like I don't know. There's just like what is it? Fangamer has all this merch on there all the time. U2's is putting out a bunch of stuff. Like the Rare store has a bunch of Banjo-Kazooie merch on there that it was never there for like literally over a decade.
Yeah.
They're trying to put Banjo at like the forefront of like this, hey, remember this guy in the back of your mind. And they're not doing it with any of their other franchises. Like even Perfect Dark, which is a game that people really wanted to get like a sequel to or a reimagining of. Which
now we're getting it.
Which we're getting, but like they don't even talk about that game. Like Banjo-Kazooie is brought up on a weekly basis by their social media. Like
they probably also know that it clicks.
Sure,
but
like
probably
if it
the
clicks,
most memeable property that they have.
it is. But like if it is,
I mean, I'm with you that if it clicks, then there's something there, right?
Yeah, like just make the thing.
Capitalize on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this one is as crazy as your xCloud one. I think that you need to flip these. I think this is like a very real possibility.
I think that if you gave Chrissy Boy his druthers and you were a genie and you were willing to make one of these wishes come true, he would definitely wish for Banjo.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about xCloud.
Banjo one. I'm like, xCloud will work one day, right?
Yeah.
But there may never be a Banjo.
But here's
I
the
would
problem.
want that too because I like Banjo.
Here's the problem with Banjo-Kazooie getting remade is I don't know who would do it, and I've been racking my brain on this for weeks, and like I can't pick a studio to do it.
Who
out
in
of
there? Yeah,
like out of their first party lineup because it's not Rare because they're making whatever that game is. It's not Everwild. There's some game that they showed off last July that like they're in the woods. And there's some mystical woodland creature. It looks like a cool game, but it's like Rare's doing their thing. They just put out Battletoads. Like, there's no way I would be shocked if they had enough staff to make a Banjo-Kazooie.
And a bunch of their staff is still making content for Sea of Thieves.
Right.
So,
like, there's
Everwild. Yeah.
Unless they really like stacked that studio up, there's no way. I don't know. I think it would be foolish of them to not do it. Like, all joking aside. At this point,
I think it would be a smart move.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to Square Enix?
Sure.
Yeah.
So my prediction is kind of twofold, and they both have to do with Final Fantasy. One is we will get more information on Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2.
Oh,
And
didn't even put that in my.
and the other one, which I think is probably more likely, is we will get more information on Final Fantasy 16. But the reason why I think that the Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 thing is more likely is Intergrade is imminent. And by the time E3 happens, Intergrade will already be out.
That has not stopped people before from putting a trailer.
That's
putting
true.
a trailer in a thing.
That's true, but I think that with Intergrade's release on I think the 10th, and then like the next week E3 being there, they could be like, "Yo, you got the PS5 version of Final Fantasy 7 Remake Intergrade with the bonus chapter on Yuffie. You've wet your whistle with this, or you're still in it. Here's the next thing." Like, I think that is the perfect time to do it. Does that mean they will do it? No, but it's the perfect time to do it.
I think it's too soon.
You think it's too soon for that reason?
I do.
So
Yeah,
you think we're more likely to get Final Fantasy 16 stuff?
Yeah, I think you're more likely to get at the earliest. You could see Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 at
Like this fall?
Game Awards.
Interesting.
I think it makes a lot of sense to put it there.
That would be do we know what's going on with Gamescom?
Not really.
No.
Okay.
I don't know if it's even gonna. Like,
I haven't heard about
in person or whatever.
I haven't heard anything about it either. I was just thinking about that, and I was thinking about like what's another awards show later on that would be good. That's or not awards show, a trade show that could be occurring in some form or fashion. And I think Game Awards is like the next guaranteed one that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I would also, just as like tagging this in, I would also be interested if they would show more or give more info on Project Athia, but I don't think they will. I want that, but I don't think they will.
I feel like that's a Sony exclusive, isn't it? Or a PlayStation exclusive?
I believe at this point it is a PS5 exclusive.
I feel like they'll save that for every state of play that they can. Like
probably.
Like Sony will have an event in July and like they'll just.
And to be perfectly honest, it's probably way too soon to get information on that anyway.
Yeah.
But that is something that I'm definitely interested in. My wish is a revival of Final Fantasy Tactics. I want them to bring that series back, even if it's like successors to the Advanced thing and not like actually in the world of Ivalice as it appears in the original Tactics. Because the original Tactics and then what Ivalice ended up being with Tactics Advance and Final Fantasy 12 are like two totally different things.
Yeah.
There are like a bunch of different races that exist in the Advanced games and Final Fantasy 12 that did not exist in Tactics. But I want that dark political intrigue, tactical combat that was in the original Tactics. That's what I want. That's my wish.
I do want to.
God,
never going to happen
one day,
but
right?
that's what I want.
I can't believe it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
I really.
I'm also surprised that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
just based on the fan base that
actually
exists for the series.
You know what I feel like
There's
they
like
would do?
Fell Seal and Disgaea, and that's it.
I feel like they will, if they ever bring that style of gameplay back, like Square specifically, they'll do it in a brand new weird franchise. It'll be like an Octopath Traveler or Project Triangle or something like that.
Project Triangle Strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, Project Triangle Strategy, now that you've brought it up, is basically them trying to do that again, but not returning to. And it's not quite the same. I want it to actually be Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like I don't want it to be some knockoff. Like you're Square, you have the rights to it. Just do it.
So the one thing I do want to point out, Bri, you might be right about Final Fantasy VII. So I always I write Square off all the time because of Final Fantasy 15.
I was about to say 14, which is supposed to be good.
Yeah, no, because
it's good.
They constantly are like, oh, we're gonna put out this game and now it's in development for 10 years and fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy
Well,
13.
remember, Final Fantasy 15 started as Final Fantasy Versus 13.
That's what I mean. So
Mhm.
So
Final Fantasy 13 came out in 2009. 13.2 came out in 2011. 13.3 came out in 2013. So they are capable of
yes,
putting out these games. And now that they've gotten the brunt of like, they figured out their engine.
and those were
all that.
completely new stories. Well, this one might be a completely new story too. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't really know what they're doing.
Who the hell knows?
I don't know. I'd be shocked, but hey,
Shocked.
maybe they're gonna do it. Who knows?
Yep, I want to see it. So, Josh, what do you got?
Mine are very boring. Mine was that Final Fantasy VII Intergrade would get a trailer, even though I know that it's like gonna be out or about to come out.
You know, that is probably true also.
And it's probably true, right? It just seems
So
like something they would do.
I could definitely see them doing a 1-2 punch of like Intergrade trailer and it's out now into part 2
Yeah,
teaser. Even teaser. That
that could be
sounds
cool.
pretty good, actually.
Yeah. My other one was that the new Final Fantasy 14 expansion that's coming out in like a month or two will also get another trailer.
Oh yeah,
What is that called?
it's like Star something.
I don't
Something
know, Stormborn or something like that.
wizard, something moon wizard.
Wizards of Waverly Place.
I'm looking it up.
I have no
idea.
I think it's like Stormblood or something like that.
That might be it.
That feels like the old name.
I don't know. I don't play any.
And-
I don't play
and
any of
whatever.
these.
Endwalker is
Endwalker,
what it's
yes,
called.
yes,
Endwalker.
yes. That's the one. Okay, Chrissy, what you got? Or Josh, did you do your wish, or did you not do wishes?
My wish, boy howdy. I don't even know, man. I don't know what I would wish
Just say
for
Hitman
from
Go
Square.
2 and be done with it.
I mean, that would be cool, but I feel like I'm waiting. Come back to me first. Do your things. I'll think of something.
This is kind of a cop out. I think we'll see that. There's a Guardians of the Galaxy standalone game. I don't know who's. I'm at. Damn it, Josh. I want to say Crystal's working on it, but they're still doing Avengers content, so I don't think they're
Guardians
working
of
on
the
it.
God. That's no. That's a hard no.
Yeah. Confirmed. Crystal is not working.
Yeah.
No, I think that there's a chance that we see a standalone game from them. I don't know that we need it, but I think we will, which is why it'll happen. I couldn't think of any
remember that
wishes
floating
because
around somewhere, but
yeah,
You don't have any Square wishes?
it's
Yeah,
hard
I've
to
never-
know.
I've
what
never
I
been a
want.
Square guy.
Hmm.
I'm never like this is very much you and Jess. Like this is that world, and like I can appreciate it for what it is.
Square used to be my people.
Yeah, like
They're
my
not
wish
really
would be
anymore, but yeah.
they come out and they're like Final Fantasy, 7-2 comes out, in the fall or
Tomorrow.
something. Yeah, like tomorrow. It's out today.
Today.
Like it'd be fucking
It's out
great.
now.
I have a wish.
I did say something in the Chrono universe just because we haven't seen it in forever. I don't think it'll happen, but like I just think it'd be neat. Like it'd be cool to watch people freak out about that. I'd be very happy for
I
people.
would be one of the ones that was freaking out about that.
Yeah.
Like
The
Chrono
Bouncer remake.
Trigger 2, Chrono Cross 2,
Yeah. I have no
Chrono
affinity to that.
Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross remake.
Yeah. It would just be fun to watch people get excited about it.
I would get extremely excited about that. That might be up there almost as high as a Tactics revival for me.
Yeah.
Specifically if they and I'm gonna make some people spicy about this one. I'd be more excited about Chrono Cross 2 than I would Chrono Trigger 2.
Interesting.
I don't care.
People are gonna be spicy about that one, but I'm mostly very positive on Chrono Trigger. I am very positive on Chrono Cross. I think that game rips ass.
That's not how it works.
We're back. We're back. I have a wish now.
Okay, what is
It's
it?
a thing I thought about for a long time.
Does your wish rip ass?
This will never happen, but it would print money. I promise. I want
Okay.
a Kingdom Hearts action MMO. And it sounds
Interesting.
That would be kind of
sounds
cool.
weird. Sounds weird, right? But imagine just
I
playing.
don't think that would
like,
make any sense from a story perspective, but it
doesn't
would
need
print money.
to.
Really?
Doesn't need to.
Really? Of any
This game
franchise?
doesn't make sense anyway.
Yeah,
Doesn't make sense anyway. But like, imagine that each, like, instead of having MMO zones, you had worlds. So you had like the Disney worlds and then like Traverse Town and all that stuff. But then it's like Disney's always making movies. Like every time they make a new movie,
just
free
drop a new
expansion
world
pack.
in. It's
Yeah,
what
free
Disney
expansion
Infinity
pack.
should have been.
That would actually print money in a
And then
way.
you
Like,
raid content where it's like, oh, go fight Sephiroth, or like when Square releases a new game, like when they do
Oh
all the
my
Nier
God,
Automata
dude,
stuff
you
in
could
FF14.
I can literally see it right now with a
Yeah.
Skull and Bones style ship to ship battle in like against Ursula, the giant raid boss in the middle of the sea, in the middle of the maelstrom.
Yeah.
Or
You
you
said, like,
could
2 to
literally
3
do
people
the
winning.
last fight from Pirates of the Caribbean 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could do, oh man,
And
dude,
you could just make it you could just make it super grindy of like 3 to 4 people you're with, and it's just very like Diablo or Phantasy Star. You're like, oh, I'm running through, I'm upgrading my keyblades, and like
That
there's
would be
mini games.
awesome.
Dude, I'm telling you, this idea would print money.
that
like,
actually
over fist.
would
Yeah.
that actually would print money.
That would
And-
rip ass.
And that would rip ass
I think we have a title.
in all the ways. In all
E3
the
is gonna
ways.
rip ass. But
Harry,
I've thought about that idea for a long time, and I'm like, this is like a good idea. I
This is
think and
actually-
people would actually like play it.
that sounds
It's
awesome.
actually a really good idea.
Yeah. Harry in
Yeah.
the chat
So that's
wants
my
everyone
wish.
to
It'll
know
never happen. It'll never happen.
his farts rip ass.
Hell yeah, Harry.
Yeah.
Do it.
I
Do it for
love
the
that,
one
Josh.
time.
I really do.
That's
Yeah,
a,
I'm kind of annoyed that doesn't exist yet.
Right? It would be sick. That's my
I'm
point.
not annoyed that it doesn't exist yet because it would be so because of how they've been how Square has been doing like what is it like Brave Exvius or whatever, which seems like Omega level predatory. Like I'm actually kind of glad that it doesn't exist, but
I don't know
like
what any of
because
the words you're saying
the
mean.
Square
You
collabs
don't need that.
the Square collabs actually seem kind of offensive, but it could be good.
It could be cool.
It could be.
Could be good. And if it was good, that would rip ass. So let's talk about Capcom and Take-Two. Predictions. I think we're gonna get a Resi 4 remake trailer. That's my prediction.
All right.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think it's super likely, but I think that it could be time. Positive buzz on Village. I think people are ready. People have been on the Capcom is back train for a hot minute now. But I mean, coming off of a win like Village and going immediately to the wettest well on the block in Resi 4. I think people are ready to go bug fuck, as they say.
I have this on my wish list, but I have a question for both of you.
Interesting.
Is this only first person, only third person, or is it the first one that can do both?
I think because isn't the
Josh is just like, fuck off.
I don't know.
is the Wii one first person?
No.
Okay.
So the
Then-
first person Resident Evils have been 7, Village. And then
That's it, right?
That's really it. At least in RE engine. Like their newest engine.
Is this what I actually think?
Yeah.
What I actually think? I actually think it'll be third person only. I actually
Yeah,
think it'll be third person.
yeah.
I think if you did it, it would be third person. I think the first person, they've said those games are sort of like a trilogy. So after Village, there'll be another first person one, and I think those 3 are supposed to sort of like coincide together.
Yeah.
I think it would be really, really cool if they made it toggleable. I definitely do not think under any circumstances they would make it first person only.
I don't think they will either. The reason I ask is because the Oculus Quest version that's coming out, presumably at the end of this year, has to be first person only.
Interesting.
So
that might actually change my answer.
that's what got me thinking about it. It was that I was like, it would be cool. But the difference with that game is that is actually yeah, this is where it falls apart. That's literally the original Resident Evil 4 just in VR.
Okay, so that was going to be my question, because because I don't know anything about VR development, so I don't know if you could make a modern console and develop the same game for both platforms, for both a current gen console and VR at the same time, and the only difference would be you lower the res and increase the frame rate on VR.
No, there's a whole slew of things.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
know
you're
that,
right.
like,
I think it's
controls-wise,
third person only.
I think it's third person only, probably, given that information. So that's my prediction. My prediction: Resi 4 remake trailer. My wish: DMC2, buddy.
Oh, please! It'll never happen, but I want
it
that
won't
so
happen,
bad.
but that's my wish, buddy, and that one's out there for me and you.
I'm gonna like Goku Spirit Bomb with you and like do that as my wish also, because I love DMC 1 so much, and I
was literally just talking to other people I've been playing Guilty Gear with some other industry people who have had codes early as well. We've been playing together, and we got into this huge thing earlier today when we were talking about like gaming opinions that are unpopular, and mine is that DMC is actually extremely good and maybe the best game in the series.
It is the best game in the series.
If not that, it'd be DMC 4, and I think both of those are wildly unpopular opinions.
Yeah, they are with the old school fans, but I still am like DMC 1 is the best one. Just hands down. They're just DMC, not even DMC. DMC is the best one.
Run DMC is great.
But anyway, that's my wish. DMC 2.
Yeah.
Josh, what you got? After you gave me your energy, what is your prediction?
I only had one, and it's that we'll hear about a sequel to Monster Hunter World, and that it will not be this year. It'll be like early next year.
Interesting. A sequel to Monster Hunter World 2 instead of what is it, Rise? Or whatever, instead of a new thing.
Isn't that already
out?
out?
That actually
we just got Rise, so
that actually makes a lot of sense, because I don't know how popular Rise is on Switch. I know that Monster Hunter people are going to buy it, but I know that a lot of non-Monster Hunter people got World. Like that was like, didn't they say that Monster Hunter World was like Capcom's best-selling game ever?
It was the best-selling, I think, in the Monster Hunter series, because it was very like, introductory.
Let me look this up, because I think they said that Monster Hunter World was the best-selling Capcom game ever.
Yeah,
that would be insane.
That game's definitely getting a sequel. Just it's happening. So I'm going to assume that they've been making it, and that
Monster Hunter World is Capcom's best-selling game ever. It's sold.
Well, then 100% it's getting a sequel.
In September of 2019, it had already sold over 12 million copies.
Holy shit!
Yeah, they're making another. They're making another one.
Yeah.
So it does make a lot of sense to make a Monster Hunter World 2.
I'll make another one. My hope is that they don't force you to like watch the cutscenes and stuff to play with your friends. Like, just let me play the game. Like, let me queue up with my friends and play. That's my one. That's what ruined the first one for me.
That was a lot of people's gripes with that game.
Yeah,
which
it was like, I gotta beat the campaign before I can really like dig into this. I don't want to do that. Just let me play.
So as of April 4th of this year, Monster Hunter Rise has sold over 5 million units.
That's insane.
Just on Switch. But apparently there's a PC version for that's planned for early next year, which is interesting. I did not know that. I thought that was going to be a Switch exclusive just for perpetuity.
Nothing.
That's interesting. If it's going to PC, then it might go to the other consoles as well. And that game does look pretty great on Switch even. But yeah. So yeah, I think Monster Hunter World 2 is actually a really fascinating prediction.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You got a wish, buddy?
That's all I got. My Capcom wish was the same as yours. I want DMC 2.
That energy? Okay.
Yeah, I want DMC 2.
Chris, what you got?
Mine are pretty boring. So my wish is the same Resident Evil 4 remake.
Okay.
I just finished that game. That game's still incredible. I have the chainsaw controller. Like, I fucking love that game. Resident Evil Village DLC is announced and shown, and people are like, cool. And they make a joke about Ethan's hands.
Cool. Do you have any predictions on like what the DLC will be about? Because
I have no idea.
We got werewolves and Draculas.
I haven't played Village yet. I started 7 this weekend, but
Nice.
and it's spooky as fuck. But I have not played Village yet.
I am trying to work through my backlog, but one of the games that is very high up on my list to start. Honestly, I think if I hadn't started really getting into, if Hitman hadn't finally clicked with me while I didn't have any internet, and that was like one of the only games that I could play, I think that I would have been like a week or two away from starting Resi 2 remake.
Yeah.
But now I think might actually be a minute before I get to that. But yeah, that's very cool. I'm excited for all the Resident Evil fans because, like,
it's a great time.
With 4 and then 5 and then 6 and then 7 brought it right back, and then 8 is, by all accounts, like, extremely good, and the remakes are by all accounts extremely good.
I mean, the fact that like what my favorite thing about Capcom right now is the fact that like they appreciate the fact that sometimes people want to go back and play some of their legacy content, and they make it readily available, and it's super easy to get a hold of. Like, I have every Resident Evil game that matters on PS4, like physically, in my collection, and I can just pop it into the PS5 and I'm good to go. Like, it's amazing.
And I was able to buy a lot of those on the ultra cheap on Steam.
Yeah.
Like, it was
they go on sale all the time. Like,
I think I have like 4 Resident Evil games, and I paid like maybe like $40 for like the lot of them, including the Resi 2 remake, which I think I got for like $15 or $17.
Yeah.
Like, and then like Resi 5 and I think 4 and like 1 remake, or like the up-resed version was like $3 or something.
I tried playing that game. I've never played Resident Evil 1. That game's hard as hell. Like,
it is.
I don't know that I could play that game without a walkthrough.
We're gonna see what happens when I jump into these.
I feel like I'm too stupid for it now, or I don't have the patience.
We don't have that. We don't have that young kid. We don't have that young man patience anymore.
No, I don't have 8 hours after school to dive headfirst into a game every day before bedtime. Exactly.
Yeah. So was that all the Capcom and Take-Two? I love that none of us made Take-Two things.
BioShock, maybe. Who knows? There you go.
Yeah. My
Speaking
wish
of which,
and
another
prediction is BioShock.
another freaking gross disappointment. Maybe that should have been my wish. Well, no, I'll keep DMC2 in there. But the new BioShock, yeah. But the another thing along the same lines is like the Final Fantasy Tactics revival. I am cursed with the knowledge of that BioShock tactical game that we never got. Like,
same with BioShock on Vita.
What a freaking! I don't care about that, but I
just think it's funny.
But like, I want a new game. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
So next is another big one. Nintendo. So here we go. My prediction is they will announce Wind Waker HD is coming to Switch.
I think that's fair.
That would be cool.
That'd be
I have
cool.
something similar to that, which was that where'd it go? I wrote we will get a Zelda collection. It's coming, and it will have Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Wind Waker in it, all in one box.
I think you're
with the
both wrong.
with what Chris was saying, I think in the last episode, would that be the 64 versions of those games, or would that be the 3DS version?
It will
probably the 64
absolutely
versions.
be the 64 versions, because that means they would have to do work, and who wants that?
But the wish would be
the 3DS one.
Revamped
textures.
versions of the 3DS ones.
Yeah.
Or both.
It would be cool if you could
but I
toggle
doubt
like
it.
Dude,
Master
if you
Chief
could,
Collection.
that would be outrageous.
Yeah, there's no way
that'd be like
it.
being able to toggle
I doubt it, but...
Halo 2.
Yeah,
like
they're emulate the way that those games run, or at least the way that the Mario Collection runs. It's not possible.
Yeah, it's not possible to toggle. That.
I think you're both wrong now. I think that in September, the game changes a little bit. because I don't.
You think you think if / when we get the new Switch, if it exists.
Oh, I don't even care about the new Switch. I think it's that they don't want to get in their own way with the Skyward Sword HD remake, because that comes out in July and E3 is in June. So they are probably going to have some bullshit trailer about how great Skyward Sword is for a minute and a half.
Interesting.
And that will be it. And then I think that they will, if they do any other Zelda content this year,
we'll get like a direct or something later on.
Yeah, you'll get an exclusive direct at the end of, in September, and then it'll launch in November.
Interesting. That is interesting.
Knowing how they play the game. But it's also Nintendo, so like they can do whatever the hell they want.
Who knows? Yeah, they could surprise you.
They could do anything.
Yeah.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
They could do anything except what my wish is, which is Super Metroid 2.
I love it.
Which will never happen, but I'm still going to wish for it.
Nah, it's a good one. That's fun.
Yeah.
What you got, Josh?
Josh.
Okay.
So defeated.
Zelda Collection one, I said. I said we will hear more about Breath of the Wild 2, but we won't actually see it. Which
Why?
Thank you for being patient with us.
I need to see it.
I know,
me.
I would love to see it too, but I have this feeling like we won't. But they might be like, Breath of the Wild 2, we're working on it. You might see some key art or something. But
These jerks. Stop working on it and
I don't
just
know.
show me something.
My Nintendo wish is that they get, it'll never happen, but they get someone to remake Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, and put it out. Or I'll even take a remaster for the Switch. I don't
Honestly,
care.
I feel like, I was thinking about this the other day, I feel like it could happen in one of those, like, it would be one of those announcements that is so, like, brushed aside in a mini Nintendo Direct that like,
it would. They'd be like, "Oh yeah," and then this
Then
game
by the
that's
way-
been trapped on a console for years.
Yeah.
like is now
is
like, people
finally
can play it.
available. Yeah.
I feel like all the industry people, because most of the people I've met that have played it and love it like I do, are industry people. So
Right.
like, oh my god, like it's like incredible.
happening.
And then that would be amazing. But I really have my doubts. And it's like I bet that someone would have remade or done something with it in the past, but like Nintendo published it and I think technically owns the rights to the game.
Yeah.
So who knows? I would love it though. I would freak out.
I feel like it could happen. I don't know. It's one of those, if we can get Detective Famicom Club.
Nah. I'm not keeping my hopes up.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those weirdos.
Detective Famicom. That's the best name.
That's like Nintendo does the thing that you don't expect.
Yeah.
Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the time for the worst.
In the last 10 years, it's definitely been for the worst.
Yeah. Chris.
That's it.
Prediction, we are due for a new Donkey Kong Country game.
Oh,
We are.
Yeah.
that
We
would be
are.
cool.
We
Do you
haven't
think it's
had one
Tropical
since...
Freeze 2, or do you think it's something totally different?
I think it's like a play on that title.
Hmm.
But I don't think they'll...
Tropical Fruit?
No, it'll be like Tropical Paradise or like Tropical Seasons. I don't know. It'll be something. But
Tropical climate change.
tropical climate
But
change. Tropical
you don't
ozone
think-
layer.
Tropical used to be livable in this region.
Yeah.
You don't think it'll be Donkey Kong Country 4 or something like that, like a revitalization?
No. There's no reason for them to, to dip into that well and to set that expectation that it's going to be.
And they
one
have
thing.
been going away from numbered entries. For a
Yeah, they
while.
don't. That's not really their
Yeah.
thing anymore. No, I think it's a new Donkey Kong Country 2D style, similar to, Tropical Freeze. I would love it if it was more of a Metroidvania, although I guess that's not really Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, so that's one.
I mean, that
prediction.
was DK64.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that was 3D open world.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm saying like Donkey Kong and Metroid style unlock access to certain regions mechanics isn't something the series has not done. before.
No, but that was also a collectathon too. I mean, it was a much
Yeah.
different. Yeah, that game did a lot. I would love to see. I have two wishes. Actually, no. I have one prediction.
Genie only gives you one wish.
I know.
No, you can say that.
I have one more prediction and 2 wishes because it's Nintendo and it's me. I think Crash Bandicoot has to be in Smash. Like, I'm tired of talking about it at this point.
It's kind of ridiculous that he's not.
Yeah, like it's Crash Bandicoot or it's Goku, and like if it's neither one, like
Dude, or Master Chief.
yeah,
Like legit.
I'm
could
tired
be
of talking about
or
it.
just Phil Spencer.
Yeah,
Because hasn't Phil said that he would be interested in having Master Chief in Smash?
Yeah.
Like, it's
And
win-win. Like
if
getting
you're-
characters in Smash is win-win.
if you're bringing XCloud
XCloud
to
to
the
Switch.
Switch, why wouldn't
It's
you
a
do that?
no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trying to sneak in wishes, and the genie's like, "I see
I
what
made
you're
7.
doing."
I see
made
what
7
you're doing
wishes.
here.
And
Started with a
X-Nay on the
paperclip,
wishing
but
for
now
more
I have
wishes.
7 wishes.
I think if we're continuing down this Microsoft Nintendo buddy path, Rare Replay comes to Switch, and it includes all the Donkey Kong Country games and Diddy Kong Racing.
That would be a baller.
Yeah.
That would be actually crazy.
Yeah.
I would love it though, because like I got Rare. Well, I actually didn't buy it. My little brother bought it, but he didn't have an Xbox, so he left it at my house, and it's like right there. But the only Rare games I care about are Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
Yeah. I
don't
mean, you
think
can play
there's-
those on Switch Online, but like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah. So like there is a clear golden era of Rare for me, and it's literally just Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be interesting.
The ultimate wish is just put out an F-Zero or Star Fox game that doesn't suck ass.
That will never happen.
That is my wish. I've
Even if
submitted
you,
it.
yeah, those sorts of wishes can only be made on monkey's paws.
Yeah.
Exclusively.
And
Genies
they're
will
not
not
quite
accept those
they're not
wishes.
quite what you asked for in the
Yeah.
first place.
Bandai Namco. My prediction, I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm not super up on Bandai Namco stuff.
I think most of us are in the
I didn't
same
write
boat with
anything.
this. Yeah.
Anything.
So I literally just said we get like a Scarlet Nexus deep dive
Sure.
ahead of launch,
Yeah.
probably. Because I know that that's kind of what they did with Code Vein. And I think that this game actually has way more promise than that. So I'm hoping that they would invest that sort of resources and that sort of kind of show time to a game that actually rips ass. Instead of a game that just rips ass.
Gonna
Yeah.
keep trying.
Yeah, so my wish is kind of two sides of the same coin, basically. And Chris already knows.
I
where I'm
already know
going
where
with
you're going
this.
because I have the same thing. Do you want me to do it?
I don't think you do.
I think
do
I
it.
do.
Do it.
Dragon Ball Fighters Complete Edition, and it's coming up-resed and upscaled and all that to PS5 and Series X.
Interesting. Okay, that is kind of
Or Dragon Ball Fighters 2 is the other.
So my thing is two sides of the same coin. DBFZ2 plus rollback netcode.
Okay.
Because as I can now say, because the embargo lifted earlier today, I've been playing Guilty Gear Strive, and that rollback netcode is really powerful.
Yeah.
Like I'm playing people in California and on the East Coast, and it feels like we're in the same room. Like it's crazy.
Wow.
It's really great. I even did it as a test. I even did it on PS5 Wi-Fi, and it was fucking great. Like, and you never play fighting games on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But this one, like, the connection will be inconsistent. Like, it might like stop and be like, hold on a sec, let me check my tapes real quick. But when you're playing it, it feels like you're playing it. Like, it's really impressive. They need rollback in DBFZ now, and I am more convinced of that than ever. So we either need DBFZ2 plus rollback, or we need a season 4 DBFZ announcement plus the announcement that they'll be implementing rollback netcode in the game. That's my wish. I want Dragon Ball Fighters to be basically future proof, and adding rollback netcode to it would do that. I'm open to a sequel. I'm definitely open to a sequel because that would let them retool a lot more stuff. But I would also be satisfied with a season 4 announcement and implementation of rollback. Because that game
Rips ass.
He rips ass already. And getting better netcode would make it a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Would make it a whole lot better. That's my wish. Make one of my favorite games of all time even better. And give it legs for the foreseeable future. Because Skullgirls and these other games, they even like Arxis added rollback netcode to Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus, which is a freaking PS2 game. Like they recently, like last year, they added rollback netcode to it and rolled it out, and it was like $2 on Steam, and you could play it, and it was amazing. So like they can do it. I want them to do it. That's my wish.
Noise.
Josh, what sort of Bamco stuff you got?
I didn't write anything because I don't know.
That's fine.
Much.
Yeah, that's
So
This is a niche one.
That was the one where I was like, I don't know. I don't know what I want. So
Elden Ring. I want people to stop talking about it. I don't give a shit about it.
To see it.
I just want people to stop talking about it.
They're like, if you've ever tweeted about it in general at all,
that is a From Bandai joint,
like,
isn't it?
They're like, your card has been charged and it's sitting on your PlayStation right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. Also, I could, you know what? I could, instead of, or in addition to the Scarlet Nexus deep dive, I could say that rumored thing, I could predict they're going to announce a My Hero Academia Fighters.
I would love that.
It's rumored. It's rumored that that's coming. I was literally just like talking about that. Like people are like, oh man, I was really hoping that, I'm hoping that they come out with like a One Piece Fighters. And I'm like, there's only 2 properties that you could do a tag team fighting game a la Dragon Ball Fighters that I would actually care about. And one is One Punch Man and the other one is My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Like those are the ones that I think would really hold up in that sort of a thing. Like the characters are so different. The powers are so different. Like it's poised, which is why like My Hero One's Justice is such a disappointment to me because it's a 3D arena fighter. And like, we don't need those. Those are not as good as 2D fighters. But those characters and those powers are so fascinating. Like that would be a great pick.
Yeah.
If DBFZ had rollback already, that would probably be my wish. Is an MHA Fighters.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Josh, you didn't have anything for wishes or any of that sort of business?
Not particularly right now. No.
What about you, Chris?
Oh no, Elden Ring. Yeah, that was it. Not even for me.
That's your prediction or that's your wish?
Oh, that's my wish. No, my prediction was Dragon Ball FighterZ Complete Edition.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. And then last and possibly least, the EA conference. So I actually don't know a whole lot about this, but I do have very pointed thoughts. My prediction is we will get more info on Dragon Age, potentially a teaser trailer or like reveal trailer.
That's
like
that's a smart pick.
Proper reveal trailer. My wish is Jedi Fallen Order 2.
So I don't think you have to wish. My first prediction for EA is literally a Jedi Fallen Order sequel will be announced or teased, but it won't come out this year.
Yeah. I think that's going
to happen.
Yeah.
It might not happen right now, but it's going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
100%.
Much like Insomniac proved themselves with the Marvel license for Spider-Man, and like that's just gonna happen until it doesn't happen anymore. I think that Respawn has proven themselves with the Star Wars license. Not, I think, to the degree. Like, I don't think that Fallen Order is as good as Marvel's Spider-Man, but it is very good. And so I definitely think that they will continue to explore.
They're way different, but I definitely want a sequel, and they're going to make one.
They're going to do it.
Yeah.
Do you think it will be him again? Or
I think Cal will be in it, but I don't think you'll play as Cal Kestis.
Interesting.
I want
it to be about somebody else, but I think it will be him as the main character again.
Well, I think he'll be there. What I want to play as
one of his students.
God, what is her name? And I'm suddenly forgetting about it. But the Night Sister.
Oh,
can't remember her name.
Dude, that would.
I think it's perfect because then you get the same characters and stuff. You should play it, Chris. It's not that long.
That would be good.
I tried.
Play it on easy.
Boy, did
not
I
that bad.
try.
Are you just bad?
That's actually one of those
I
games
just
where I
didn't
think
like
it
it.
gets more. I think it gets more interesting on normal or higher difficulty. Like I think that when you play it on easy, yeah, it lets you get through the stuff, but like
I got
it's one of those things
far,
like
I think.
like learning parry in Dark Souls like really opens the game up.
Yeah.
And like when you play on the harder difficulties on Jedi Fallen Order, they kind of force you to learn that, and once you learn that, it's like you really feel like you're just destroying people, like dismantling them, which is really cool.
I remember trying to fight an AT-AT and getting really, really upset. I think that
Really?
was, yeah.
You just force push their grenades back at them. It does like so much damage.
Probably.
I was like, that's an
Wait,
easy
in,
fight.
In AT-AT or a Chicken Walker?
A chicken walker. I'm sorry, a chicken
Yeah.
walker.
Yeah.
ST, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you
I mean-
literally force push their grenades back at them or their
Yeah,
rocket.
there is an AT-AT in the game, but yeah.
You don't really fight
you fight the Chicken Walker. Was it on the rainy planet?
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
so
that
you
was the
basically
last
got
thing
through
I
the
did.
first. You got through like the first 2 worlds, I guess. Then?
Yeah.
That's the second world, I think.
Well, it
Technically,
depends on
it's the third
it
one.
depends
'cause
on what order
you have
go
like the
in.
tutorial, and then you go to the hub world, and then you go to that one. So
Sure. I mean, the ship is kind of your hub world, but anyway.
the hub world before the hub. world,
Maybe
but yeah.
I'll revisit it when that next gen patch comes out.
Hey,
It did, I think.
did it?
Well,
It got a patch for PS5 and stuff, and it's like solid 60 and stuff. Yeah.
Just take a look.
because I know
Because I
they
remember downloading it and messing with it.
they had like a PS4 Pro patch, and then I think they had like a better one that they were putting out. But I don't know.
They
if
had they had one like Tsushima got,
yeah,
which was like a 4.5 kind of patch.
yeah,
where
yeah.
on 5 it ran like way better and stuff.
January 12th, 2021. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order update 1.12 fixes PS5, Xbox Series X performance, increasing FPS to 60,
Oh, maybe that is it.
etc., etc., etc.
Yeah,
I just need to
I'm
get my
pretty sure
copy back
Digital
from my
Foundry
brother-in-law.
did a whole video.
Yeah.
Don't you have Game Pass? It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, but I have all my save on PlayStation.
Ow.
I don't want to start over. That's
Mm.
lame.
Again, it's not that long of a game. Like
Yeah,
I beat it in
That's
one
true.
sitting in like 8.5 hours.
yeah,
You're
On
a
stream.
maniac, but it's
Oh.
you, so it's Star Wars and it's fun.
yeah.
I mean, if you just blaze through it and don't look for anything, it's fine. You can get through it so fast.
If you don't do any of the stuff, you can do it hella quick.
If you don't like look around for health upgrades
yeah.
or
I mean, I'm
anything
getting
like that, yeah.
everything in that game. That's just how I roll.
Oh, I didn't even do that the first time around because at some point I hit this story beat and I was like, I gotta see this through, and then I just played until I beat it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Cool. Any what else? What else you guys got?
I do have another one for EA,
Go
which
for it.
we'll hear about a new Star Wars game, but it won't be a KOTOR remake / reboot. It'll be something else.
But
I
it will
think
also not be Jedi Fallen Order 2.
Yes,
I think
something
it's
totally different.
the Mandalorian game.
I don't think they'll make a Mandalorian game. If I'm being honest.
I thought they confirmed it already that someone was doing it.
And
I want to say like 6 months ago, 6 to 8 months ago, somebody said that was in
I'm
development
looking
somewhere.
it up.
I've not heard anything about that, so I'm gonna say that's not.
I'm gonna call you a big old piece of poop, and I'm gonna Google it myself. Mandalorian.
No, I'm looking it
video
up. I'm
game.
looking it up. I'm looking it up. It looks like
IGN.
rumored, but not confirmed.
Bitch. That's okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's hard to have a wish for EA also because I just don't
I wish for another.
know
FIFA.
what I would want. You know what I want. Brian will be on board for this. I want a Dead Space remake.
That is actually my wish, Josh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep,
We
that
all
is
spirit
actually my
bombing
wish.
this.
Yeah.
I really want a Dead Space remake, one of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah, I said Dead Space Returns, and it's as dark and horrifying as the first two.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
You know what?
You wouldn't take a Dead
Sure.
Space remake if tomorrow they were like, yo, remember Dead Space? Remember how awesome that was? You want to
Remember how much that game
ripped?
ripped ass?
Yeah, remember how Yeah.
I don't
want it.
know that it's Spirit Bomb level hype for me.
It's just Chris and me, I guess.
Get the
Especially
fuck out of the
because, like-
van. It's just me and Josh.
Well, yeah, like let's be real. Like I almost platinumed the first game, didn't play hardly any of the second game, and never played the third one. So like,
I mean, that's the same for me. I just want the first one.
yeah, but I'm just like, but I already played the first one like 1 3/4 times, and would I want that again? And I don't know that.
I bet
would.
if you saw it,
If you saw
I
it
would
in
give
4K HDR, like,
I think that makes me less likely to want to play it because it'd be more terrifying.
oh my god.
I didn't think
Give
it
it
was
to
that
me.
terrifying the first time around. I just thought it was great.
I literally
I
sold
jumped
my
once,
copy.
and it was at
I
the very
literally
end.
sold my copy back because it was too scary. And then like a year or two later, I was like, this is too universally acclaimed. I have to try to get through it. And then I bounced off of it and stuck it in the back of my drawer for a while to not think about it. And then I came back later and beat that game, baby. And then I was like, I'm going for the platinum. And then I didn't get it because that stupid turret sequence is too hard for me.
That turret
on
sequence
difficult.
is dumb. See, if they remade it, they could make the turret sequence good,
Not
or just get
dumb.
rid of it,
Yeah.
or just not do the turret sequence.
Okay, now you got me.
I have two
Yeah.
Hail Marys before we go.
Okay.
Mm.
Let's get them.
Valve is bringing the orange box to Game Pass along with Steam.
No.
Steam is
along
no.
with-
Steam is
100% no.
Steam is ending up on the Series X.
At first, I was like, okay, yeah, orange box, the 360 one. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that could happen.
Yeah.
And then which would be like weird, but fine, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but no, the second
The
one.
only reason I say it is
I would love that actually.
Gabe Newell was in an interview recently where somebody brought this up, and he was like,
I remember this.
and he was
yeah.
like, I can't say anything right now, but I can tell you we will have something to say before the year is over about Steam and consoles specifically.
Yes.
But that,
And I
yeah,
don't
gonna
think
be
they're
like
gonna try-
Steambox 2.
I don't think they're gonna try Steam machines again because
No.
that was a colossal failure.
Yeah.
I think that of the people to partner with, Microsoft is the obvious answer.
Yeah. Agreed.
And
They are, but what does Microsoft stand to gain from any of that?
the entire Steam library, and they already have Microsoft already has a relationship with Steam because they've put their games on it. So I think,
Yeah, but
I
that's
don't
what
know. I
mean.
don't know if it can be in the full capacity. I think it is in some limited type of capacity. Like, let's
all I'm
say
saying is that would rip ass.
if
and
I
think
see
we all
if
know
I see
it.
a Steam logo on my Series X, I'm gonna be a happy little bitch. That's all I can
I
say
just
about
That's
that.
fair.
don't. I don't see that world ever.
That's why it's a Hail Mary, and
That's
not,
why it's a
you
Hail
know,
Mary.
anything else.
I have one more Hail Mary
Yeah.
that I
Okay.
legitimately think could happen, and then we'll wrap.
Okay.
The Simpsons Hit and Run remake / remaster is announced. It is being worked on by Saber Interactive.
I would play that, but is that one of
You
those
know-
things where
you
it's
know who
like,
else would
it's
play it,
great,
Josh?
But then
Fucking
you?
everyone. Fucking everyone would play that game. Because it
I would
rips
like
ass,
more.
baby.
I would like more Crazy Taxi stuff.
No, that's Road Rage. Hit and Run is the GTA one.
Oh. Then I've never played Hit and Run. I played the Crazy Taxi one.
That game's dope. I think there's a very real possibility that it happens.
And by Saber.
Yep. They did the Ghostbusters remake or remastered version that we saw last year on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. We don't really know what they're doing. And I'm pretty sure on the Summer Games Fest site, you can see a little silhouette of Homer Simpson there. Why else would he be there?
Hmm.
Why else?
Why else indeed?
Watch, it's like
Why?
Simpsons arcade game once again. You're like, oh god.
Oh God, I hope not.
Yeah.
Locking it in.
All
Well,
right.
there we go. Those are all our predictions. Do we have any final statements to make before we wrap this one on up and send it home to the people?
I feel like overall we'll be slightly underwhelmed.
I think this will be a very weird E3.
I think on both accounts you are correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that this could be a very good E3. We are actually poised to get some really interesting reveals, and I'm excited. So hopefully it turns out well.
Excited, but expecting to be underwhelmed.
Yeah.
Sure, I think that's safe. Expect the
That's a
worst,
good
hope
way
for the
to be.
best.
Yeah.
And there you go. You'll never be disappointed. And there you go.
For the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining us for episode 181. If you have thoughts on all the ridiculous stuff that we said, or you want to tell us your own predictions that you think rip ass, or you want to recommend topics of discussion like our the wonderful person who submitted our lead-in did, you can hit us up on social media. We are all corporately to be found at PlatformersPod on Twitter. You can find me personally at Ribnax, Ribnax.
You can find me on Twitter. I don't tweet that much, but I'm at the Jawa Josh. And if you'd like to see all the cool video essay stuff I'm working on, you can go to youtube.com/braintap.
You can find me at Shrives93. I don't really have anything going on right now. I'm just waiting for E3 to start, and I'm going to be working it this weekend, and I want my cold to go away, and I hope...
Is it Sunday or Monday?
Likewise, buddy.
It starts
Sunday?
Thursday, technically. I think Summer Game
This
Fest.
Thursday?
Summer Game Fest starts Thursday with Jeff Keighley.
I
He
was like, 'cause
says.
Sunday's Father's Day. It's like, I feel like they wouldn't do that. But
They totally did. I'm pretty sure Xbox is Sunday. I could be wrong.
let's find out.
Somebody's on Sunday.
It's Saturday.
Huh.
Great.
I know
What
Friday is
time?
all pre-coverage. Thursday
What
is the
time is
Game
my-
Fest.
I'm like, what time is Microsoft here? Because
That's the big one.
That's the one. That is going to be the one to watch. I feel like we will probably get underwhelming stuff from most of the showcases. I think I was almost about to say the Xbox plus Bethesda conference is going to rip ass, but I legit do think it's going to be.
I think it'll be the
gonna be
highlight
impressive.
of. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be very impressive. I think of all of the shows, that's the one that is the most poised for some really delicious things to be revealed.
Father's Day is the
Bethesda-
20th.
oh, is it?
Yep. According to Harry in the
My
chat.
mother is incorrect.
Thanks, Harry.
Thanks,
I'm gonna
Harry.
look that up. Well, I just saw her and she was like, "Oh, Sunday is like Father's Day or whatever." I'm gonna come back at her and be like, "No, it ain't."
Hopefully, Harry's right.
No, I googled it. He's right.
I'm gonna double check though.
Okay.
But
Yeah, he's right.
yeah, June 13th, Xbox Bethesda. It starts at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
I'll be up. My dog doesn't let me sleep in.
Well, as I said before, thanks for listening. You can watch us record each episode live at twitch.tv/platformerspod, or check out the episode archive on YouTube at youtube.com/platformerspod. Please review us on your podcast platform of choice. We're on a ton of things, including Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, all that sort of stuff. And if you have a good time with the show, please tell your friends and family about it. We like goofing around and we like talking about games, and we would love it if you would join us. And everyone would join us and become a part of the collective and give us all of your dreams so that we can feast upon them. Anyway, from everybody here at the Platformers, we hope you have a wonderful week and stay safe out there, because until next time, we are out.
Bye.